Okay guys, welcome to this next tutorial. In this next tutorial we're going to have a go at assembling frame D. So you can see here's my workshop drawing of frame D. There's the little 3D in the right hand side, and here's our front view and our top view. I suppose you should be able to do the majority of frame D by yourself because it's exactly the same as the other frames. We start with the bottom plate, bring that in, then we bring in the studs, and we use joints to put those studs in the correct position. We put the top plate on. One thing you will notice is when you're putting these studs in the correct position, you'll notice the distances are different to the distances apart for the studs on frame A and B and C. So just make sure you take note the distance from the end to the end, or from the outside face to the outside face, is 441.25, and then this distance from the outside to that face is 882. Or you could go, I suppose, center to center, because that is at the center of that plate there. Just make sure you use those sizes there. So I'm going to assume that you have put the frame together except for putting these noggins in, and I just want to explain something about the positioning of the noggins on this drawing, and then we'll actually go do it in Fusion. So you can see here that the noggins are what we call offset or staggered from each other. If we had all these noggins all perfectly lined up in one row, it would make it quite difficult to actually put the 3-inch nails in through the stud into the noggin to hold it. So that's one reason why we stagger or offset the noggins. The other reason is that it also gives us something or some more strength for our board to actually get screwed down to or lay onto as well. So with that in mind, we need to think about where are the noggins positioned in relationship to the length of the stud. So you can see if I was to put my cursor on this top edge of the noggin, the top edge of the first noggin then becomes the bottom edge of the second noggin, and then likewise top edge and bottom edge. So that distance there to the center of to the top edge of that noggin is halfway between the top plate and the bottom plate. So when we assemble it, it's going to be that top edge is midpoint to the center mark on our stud. Let's go do that in Fusion. So you can see here that I've already started off by bringing in the plates, and I've aligned all the studs. You should be able to do that by now. If you've forgotten, then go back and have a look at the previous tutorials. Let's now bring in the noggins. So right click on noggin, insert. And as you may have done before, you may have to rotate the noggin to get it in the right position, but that's pretty much the right orientation, I should say. Then we'll click OK, and we next apply a joint. So the joint's going to be between this top corner here and also an offset distance from that, maybe that top corner or that bottom corner there. It doesn't really matter too much. So let's choose, if I can, zoom in a little bit. Okay, so another way of looking at it too would be to try to line up, this midpoint here, which isn't going to work. Okay, so we'll just do this corner here, sorry. So let's select that one, come over to my studs here. Now I said the top face of that was going to line up with the midpoint. So if I then bring my edge up, and you can see it snaps to that midpoint, and the circle is in the same plane. So I click there, and it's now moved that into that correct position. Click OK, and then let's just check this. Let's go front view. Right view. And let's measure the distance. So we'll zoom out a little bit. Use your inspect tool. Let's measure the distance from that top edge there, like that little circle to appear, 1, to that bottom corner there is 865. Let's keep that in memory. Let's reset the start. Let's do the next measurement. There to there, 865. So that's correct. So this top edge is in line with the midpoint of that stud there. So close that, go back to your 3D view, click on the little home symbol there. Let's copy and paste this part. That's the noggin, Command C, Command V, and OK to it. Let's put the next joint in. Now the next joint is going to be, instead of it being the top of this, it's going to be the bottom. So last time we did for the top to the center, let's now go to the bottom to the center. So click on that bottom corner there, one, and then come over to the stud. Go along until find the center point. There it is there. Notice the circles are in the same plane orientation. Click again. And let's just check this before we go any further. Click on right. That's correct. So you can see there they're staggered, they're offset. And click OK. All right, back to 3D. And we'll repeat that two more times to complete this. So Command C, Command V. OK. Let's put a joint in top edge or the top face. So I'm going to zoom in on this so we can see it. Okay, so I'm going to select this time the top face, one, and that bottom, well, the mid corner, I suppose. Scroll across if you want with the two fingers and find the midpoint. And then the last one obviously is on the right hand side of that one. Okay, so I'll let you put that last one in and then you can hit save and you then should have frame D all assembled.